Hello friends, welcome to the 12th session for the series Test Automation Framework for Web Applications built using Cypress and JavaScript. In the last session, we saw how can we manage the test data using fixtures in Cypress. In this session, we'll implement the page object model design pattern at the page level. So let's get started. Let me jump onto the VS Code directly. So you see, this is the test case which we were trying to automate. Basically, this was a login flow. So we were navigating to one application, we were filling the valid credentials and we were clicking on the login button and we were validating that we are landing on the right page or not. So the user was able to log in or not. Okay. So, but we were not using any design pattern here, right? So basically in the test case itself, we were supposed to find the elements. So that is not the recommended approach in terms of UI automation. Okay. So let's do one thing under the Cypress folder only. Let's go to the support, create one directory called pages maybe. Okay. So what are these pages? So the very first page which we saw here, which we see here in the application is a login page, right? So let me create a new file, name it as login page.js. Okay. So what do we do in the basically in the page object model? So basically, let me create a class first of all, class login page. Okay. First of all, we have to define all the elements. Define the elements with which we want to use in our test automation. Then the other thing is what all operations or methods, or maybe the operations only, methods we want to perform. Okay. So what all are the elements basically? So there are three basically on the login page. This is one, the text box, two text boxes and one login button, right? So let me take this values from here. And let me write it down. So for example, these are what? These are the elements. Okay. And this is basically our text box. Which text box it is? Use username and then you can put it here. So you see, this is basically an element. This is the text box, a username text box, which I am trying to find with the help of an XPath. Okay. Similarly, I can add for more. So for example, the other text box is password, right? So let me just put it here. cy dot get and this one. And then the other one is button, right? Which button it is? Login button. Login button. Let me just put it here, delete this, and we are done. Okay, so we can delete this part, and this part. Okay, now what are the different operations you want to perform with these elements? So basically with the text boxes we want to fill some information, right? We are supposed to fill some information, correct? So let me just copy it, paste it here. So maybe fill what? Fill some information inside the text box username, and I can create a method here. Okay, so this dot on which element you want to go? Text dot username. Okay, and what you want to do? Maybe you want to type something, right? And what are you going to type? That is something which we are going to take it from the test case itself. So username, type username, and that's all. Then the other text box I have is password. Password, done, done, and I can copy the directly is done. The next thing is what I want to do. I want to click, right? Click on what? Click on the button login, right? So click on the button login. No, I don't need anything right here. So I can directly, what can you do? Click on what element? On the button login. Okay. So you see, what did we do? Basically, we actually defined the elements, what all elements we require for the automation, and what are the operations we want to perform on them. Okay, but now when we want to use this login page, basically we have to export it. Okay, so let me just export it. Export default new login page. Okay, now to use this particular elements, basically, let me just go here and make a copy of this. Let me skip this test case intentionally. So this was before POM, I can say. Okay, this is already commented. So this is the one. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to go up and you need to import that. So what do we need to import? Basically, import maybe login page. Okay, and where exactly this login page is, see, this automatically came. Let me just rename it login page. Okay, now instead of this, what I can do, login page dot fill what? Fill username, maybe this is the variable name, right? Similarly, I can go for the other method, that is what? Password, right? So let me delete this, and then what do I want to do is I want to click, right? Click over here, click on the login button. So you see, so previously how was it looking like? We were actually trying to find all these elements here directly. Okay, but now this is something which we have added a layer. So now this login page is something which has defined all those elements. Okay, now this is the same thing which we have to do for the this element as well. So basically this was a login page, right? So let me add a products page here. So this was a products page, right? So this is something called heading. So let me do one thing. This is a products page. Let me just copy the name, put it here, export the copy this one, and I don't need this all. I don't need this. So this is the one, get title. Maybe I can put it here. And what exactly is that? This is a heading, right? Heading products. Heading products. Okay. So you go here, heading products. You're able to define it. We are not performing any operation, like we are not expected to click or fill some data, right? We just need this information. We just need this element. So how can we take it as? So basically, first of all, let me just go here and I want what? Products page. So let me just import it, products page. This is done. And instead of this, what I can do, let me just put it in this way. So this is basically an element we need, right? So heading products is an element which we have taken and we can use it in this way now. Now you see how clear it is actually looking like. Okay. So let me just try to execute these test cases and see if everything is working fine. Let me save all the files. Okay, we already have saved. Let me execute it in the Electron browser this time, maybe. Run script. Okay. Let's see if everything goes fine. If not, then we'll definitely debug the issue and we'll be working with it. Okay, I think there is some issue that we need to check. Okay, what's happening? The issue I actually resolved this part is basically what we were doing when I checked the reports basically. So what was happening? We used this dot textbooks username directly here, but instead we have to go with this like this dot elements, and inside that elements which element we want to refer. Okay, so I have updated these three lines. So let me retry to execute this maybe on any of the browser, maybe on the edge. Let me re-execute this test case. This time it should work fine. So it's opening the Edge browser. You see, yeah, it is able to fill the information, able to click on the login button, and the test cases got passed. Okay, so basically, what we have achieved in this, the page object model 1 So we were able to define all our elements inside the login page. You see, if we go, we defined our elements, then we actually defined all the operations which we want to do, and we used it in the login page. Okay. So in the next session, what we will do basically, if you check this application now, if you click here, okay, so you see there is something called header, the Swag Labs, and you see there is something called footer as well. Okay, now these two are something called which are the application components. These are not specific to any page. For example, if you go to the add to cart page, okay, if you click on here, you see this is still present, but products is not, because products was there on the products page. But Swag Labs is a header, and this message and these links are actually the footer. So these are the application components. So we'll see like how exactly we can handle these application components with the help of this page object model design pattern in the upcoming session. Okay, so that's all for this session. Thank you for your time. Have a